S.Pd Haryanie. Here I will to explain about line. Before that, let us first understanding about definition of line. Line is a collection of constantly looked at points, and it can be extended infinitely in either of its direction. And a line can also be constrained by at least 2 points. Naturally, a line has infinite length, however, it can be segmented. When a line is segmented, it is called line segment. You can look the picture beside. It can be called line segment AB, where point A and B are respectively on the tip of the line segment. That is for definition of line. Next, there are various kinds of lines. The first, vertical line. It is said to be vertical lines if lines extended down and up and is parallel to the y-axis. The second, horizontal line. Is said to horizontal line if line extending to the right and left and parallel to the x-axis. The third, diagonal line. It is called to be a diagonal line if line that connection one corner to another but not on the same side on the plane. The fourth, angle line. It's called angle line if there are lines that meet at one point creating an angle. Then there are several line positions to other lines. The first, parallel line. Parallel line is two lines that are on the same plane and never interacts even though they are extended indefinitely. The second, perpendicular line. Perpendicular line is when two lines intersect and from a right angle. The third, coinciding line. Coinciding lines are two or more lines that have at least 2 points of interaction. And last, the fourth, intersecting lines. An intersecting line is 2 or more lines that meet at one point. That's also a position of line. Okay, well, thanks all from me and thanks for the attention.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fariki and Furqon Fathur Tauhid. So I will explain which material is about what is curve and angle. Curve is one-dimensional geometric shape which forms an arc that can be located on the plane and it has length, but no width or thickness. Then how about kinds of curve? Basically, there are two kinds of curve. They are grouped based on whether the curve creates an area or closed area. First is open curve. Open curve is an arc in which the first point doesn't meet last point and it doesn't create an area. This is an example for open curve. Then we have closed curve. Closed curve is an arc in which the first point meets last point until it makes a plane or a particular area. This is an example for closed curve. Angle. Two basic concepts that should be understood are vector and line. Both terms have different meaning. While line expand on both directions indefinitely, A vector starts out at one point and continues within particular direction with particular length or to infinity. Two vector and line can intersect each other at one point to form an angle. The point is called vertex. Let's see at the picture. XY and YZ intersect each other to form an angle that the point is called vertex. Then we have kinds of angle. First is right angle. Right angle is an angle whose measure is exactly 90 degrees. Let's see at the picture. PQ and QR intersect each other to form an angle of 90 degrees. Then acute angle. Acute angle is an angle whose measure is less than 90 degrees. Let's see at the picture. XY and ZY intersect each other to form an angle less than 90 degrees. Next, obtuse angle. Obtuse angle is an angle whose measure is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. As you can see, BW and WU intersect each other to form an angle greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. Next, triangle. Triangle is an angle whose measure is exactly 180 degrees. This is the example for triangle. Then we have full rotation angle. Full rotation angle is an angle whose measure is exactly 360 degrees. This is the example for full rotation angle. And last point is reflect angle. Reflect angle is an angle whose measure is greater than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. This is the example for reflex angle. Okay, I think that's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello friends, my name is Ade Kurnia, and now I will explain about the relation between angle. Okay, first is supplementary angles. Supplementary angles is a condition in which two angles form a straight angle, which means an angle of 180 degrees, where one angle is angle of the other angle. Pay attention. A degrees plus B degree equals 180 degrees. Okay. Next is complementary angles. Complementary angles is a condition in which two angles form a right angle, where one corner is an angle from the other. This is similar to the previous one. The difference is if supplementary angles, the angles form 180 degrees. Then, if complementary angles, the angles form 90 degrees. The basic concept is x degrees plus y degrees equals 90 degrees. Okay, last is opposite angles. Opposite angles defines two angles that are opposite each other. Two opposite angles have the same magnitude. Note that the angle alpha with the angle beta is the same, as well as the delta angle with the gamma angle. Okay, first is corresponding angles. Corresponding, it means corresponding the same direction. Example of the first point. Angles P1 and Q1 face the same direction, namely the upper left. That's what it's called corresponding angles, which is the keyword for each pair of angles corresponding each other. The angles are the same. Next is alternate interior angles. Remember, the keyword is alternate interior. So we are talking the inner corner territory here. For example, P4 and Q2. P4 which is opposite Q2, but both positions are inside, right? That's why it's called alternate interior, which is the keyword for each pair of angles opposite. The angles are the same. Okay, next is alternate exterior angles. Means we are talking the outer top with the outer bottom. Alternate exterior, the concept is similar to alternate interior. The important thing is that the position is outside and opposite each other. For example, angles P1 and Q3, we check P1 and Q3, the position are the same but opposite. The one to the left and the one to the right. It is called opposite outside. The keyword here is that every pair of outside angles opposite the angles is the same. Okay, next is consecutive interior angles. Means we are talking the inside. For example, the angle P3 and Q2. P3 means this one and Q2, which means consecutive. If it's consecutive on the left, this is also the left, but remember the inside. The keyword is that if its pair of angles is consecutive, the sum of the angles is 180 degrees. Okay, last is consecutive exterior angles. Pair of angles which are on one side of transversal line cutting parallel lines and are outside the two lines. For example, the angle P1 and Q4. Okay, that is all for me. Thanks for listening and goodbye.